Welcome to part 2 of Let's Play the Citadel of Chaos by Steve Jackson. At the end of the last part I was on paragraph 245 and I was about to decide whether to ignore the Living Whirlwind, talk to the Living Whirlwind, or use my magic on her. I am going to ignore her and continue and turn to 161. Okay. She is deeply insulted by your indifference. The whirlwind rises once more, and this time she knocks you off your feet. You try crawling forwards, but she positions herself in front of you in whichever direction you turn. You will have to try to outwit her, but how will you start? There we go. Make your anger obvious to her, turn to 106, or talk to her to try to pacify her, turn to 390. We're going to make our anger obvious to her and turn to 106. Okay. She laughs again and tells you she likes to see people getting angry. In good humour, she accompanies you for several yards. Conversation is difficult. She sees something in the distant shadows and nips off to investigate, allowing you to advance to the Citadel's main entrance. Turn to 218. In front of you is a large wooden door, firmly locked. You may either knock 3 times for the guard, turn to 118, or you may use a strength spell to try to open it, turn to 94. Okay, we're going to knock 3 times for the guard, turn to 118. The door opens and a large brutish creature steps out. It has a sharp horn in the middle of its forehead and its skin appears to be armor-plated. It grunts to ask you what you want and demands the password before letting you in. Do you know the password? If so, turn to 273. If not, you'll have to bluff your way in. Turn to 198. Okay, is that picture for us? Yes, it is. 118. The door opens and a large brutish creature steps out. There he is. Looks like a rhinoceros. Okay, now if you remember the last part, we did get the password from that orc, goblin, and dwarf, where the goblin had a mate as well, and we fought them before, or rather after getting the password. The password was, in fact, scimitar. So we're going to turn to 273 because we know the password. Is the password scimitar, turn to 271, Ganges, turn to 255, or Kraken, turn to 49? It was scimitar. Let's go to 371 immediately. The creature grunts and opens the door to let you in. Turn to 177. You are in a narrow hallway. This continues for several yards and ends in a doorway. Halfway along the passage you can see an archway where some steps lead downwards. Would you go forwards to the door, turn to 5, or creep down the steps, turn to 344? We're going to go forwards to the door, turn to 5. You try the handle of the door and it turns, opening into another hallway. Some distance along, the passageway turns to the right and ends shortly in another door. On this door is a sign which reads, "Please ring for butler." A rope, evidently the bell, hangs by the door. Will you ring as instructed, turn to 40, or try the door handle, turn to 361? We are going to ring as instructed, turn to 40. After several moments the door opens slowly and a hunchbacked, misshapen creature with rotten teeth, ragged hair, and tattered clothes stands in front of you. "Yes, sir, heh. What can I do for you?" growls the half-human creature. "I am expected," you reply, and walk past him through the door with confidence. He is a little bewildered by your manner, and stammers, not knowing whether to challenge you or not. "Which way to the reception room?" you demand. He squints at you through one eye, and motions towards a left fork in the passageway a short distance ahead. Will you believe him and take the left fork, turn to 243, or do you distrust the shifty creature and take the right fork, turn to 2? Is this picture for us? Yes, it is. A hunchbacked, misshapen creature with rotten teeth, ragged hair, and tattered clothes stands in front of you. There he is. What a handsome fellow. Okay, we're going to believe him and take the left fork, turn to 243. The passage runs along for several yards and then ends at a door. You listen at the door and can hear a deep, heavy breathing coming from inside, as if some large creature were asleep in there. Cautiously, you try the handle and the door opens. Just inside, although the room is dark, you can see that a very large goblin-like creature is asleep on the floor. You may either risk tiptoeing into the room, turn to 352, or you may return to the fork and try the right-hand passage, turn to 2. We're going to risk tiptoeing into the room and turn to 352. You tiptoe into the room. The room is gloomy and the air is damp. A crude wooden post is nailed to one wall with several hooks on it. Blimey, I can't say that. With several hooks on it. There are 2 doors in the far wall leading onwards. It's not going to be books, is it? He's not going to read whomever we're meeting, or whoever it is that we're meeting. There are 2 doors in the far wall leading onwards. On the post, hanging on the wall, is a makeshift mirror, but as your torch lights up the mirror, its reflection is thrown across the eyes of the sleeping giant, who grunts and stirs. One eye opens, then another, and seeing you, it springs to its feet. It grabs an axe which it was using as a pillow, and quickly undoes the leather sheath to reveal a sharp bronze head. This giant creature is a Gark, large and brutish. Garks are half goblin, half giant, bred by master sorcerers for their aggressive character. Although somewhat stupid, they are rather tough beasts with a warlike nature. Will you make a dash for the doors, turn to 203, draw your sword ready for a fight, turn to 16, apologize for disturbing the creature, turn to 216, or prepare to use a spell, turn to 11. Okay, this picture's for us. Okay, 352. One eye opens, then another, and seeing you, the creature springs to its feet. There he is. Looks a bit like Sloth from the Goonies. A bit like that character on that tree stump creature on Lord of the Sword on the Master System. That's quite funny. Anyway, we're going to prepare to use a spell and turn to 11. You may use either a Fool's Gold spell, turn to 36, a Creature Copy spell, turn to 262, an ESP spell, turn to 128, or a Weakness spell, turn to 152. If you have none of these, you will have to draw your sword and fight, turn to 16. No, not 16, 76. Actually, that could be 16. Yes, it is 16, I apologise, I need my glasses. Okay, we're going to use a weakness spell, so we're going to cross one of those off our list. So we're down to 1 weakness spell now. And we're going to go to 152 rather. You cast your spell and the creature stops in its tracks, not quite sure what has happened to it. With some effort it picks up its axe and comes towards you, but is evidently not such a strong adversary as before. You draw out your sword to finish the Gark off. Gark, skill 5, stamina 5. Okay. Okay, let's deal with this Gark. Skill 5, stamina 5. Okay, rolling for him first. Okay, so 5 plus 6 is 11. I get 10 plus 12, which is 22. So 11 to 22. That puts him down to 3. 5 plus 6 is 11. 7 plus 12 is 19. So 11 to 19. Puts him down to 1. So in theory, just one more. 6 plus 5 is 11 again, and I get 9 plus 12, which is 21. So 11 to 21. That's it. Mr. Garg is dead. That's the end of him. Let's get rid of the buzzing. And let's go to 180 because we've defeated him. The great Garg lies dead on the ground. You wait for a minute to see whether the commotion will attract any guards, but all appears to be safe. You go through the creature's effects, but find little of value. Inside a pouch strung around its waist are 6 gold pieces and an ornate hairbrush. You may take these with you if you wish. You decide to continue onwards. Turn to 99. 6 gold pieces and a hairbrush. 6 and ornate hairbrush. Hairbrush. No, bruise spelled badly as well. Hairbrush with an I. Okay. Turn to 99. Will you take either the left-hand door, turn to 52, or the right-hand door, turn to 38? We're going to go right, so turn to 38. The door opens into a short passageway which is paved with small stones. A short distance further on, an ornately carved door marks the end of the passageway, but just before the door, a side passage leads off to the left. You approach the door, listening for any signs of life inside. As your hand touches the handle, a voice says, "Do not knock, just enter." From inside. Will you enter the room as instructed, turn to 132, or will you decide against this room and take the passage leading off to the left, turn to 306? We're going to enter as instructed. So turn to 132. Okay. You enter a room which is evidently a library of some sort. Books stretch from ceiling to floor on each wall, and several tables and chairs are lined down the centre of the room. At the far end sits a dark-skinned man who looks up at you from a book over narrow eyeglasses. Behind him is a door. "Yes, what is it?" he snaps. "Which book are you looking for?" You scan the various shelves which are labelled. Will you ask him for Biographies of Balthus Dyer, turn to 18, Secrets of the Black Tower, turn to 238, or Creatures of the Kingdom of Kragan Rock, turn to 375. We're going to ask for the Secrets of the Black Tower, so turn to 238. He indicates a section on the shelves, and you take a book to one of the tables to read through it. The book is most enlightening, tracing the history of the Citadel. The Black Tower was built by Balthus Dyer's grandfather. As it became a sanctuary for the forces of evil, law and order gradually made way for chaos as the monstrous creatures battled their way up the power hierarchy. Dyer's grandfather eventually found it necessary to protect himself from his minions by setting up various protective traps between the creatures and his own dwellings, most notable of these being the Doom Pit trap and the magical combination lock on the door to his own room. The combination of the lock is 217. Okay, that's something we need to write down, isn't it? So, information, combination of Balthus Dyer's grandfather's room is 217. Great. The combination of the lock is 217. You read further about the various secret passageways that permeate the Citadel. You may then choose either to ask the man for the section on Balthus Dyer, turn to 18, or the section on Creatures of Kragan Rock, turn to 375, or you may leave the room through the door at the far end, turn to 31. We're going to leave the room through the door at the far end now, so turn to 31. You leave the room through the door at the far end, which opens into a short passageway ending at a large wooden door. The handle on this door turns, letting you into a large chamber. Turn to 169. 169 is a square number, 13 squared. That's quite interesting. The room in which you are is some sort of grand dining hall. A long table, large enough to seat some 40 or 50 people, stands in the centre, edged with chairs. Various doors and passageways lead from the room, but you are particularly interested in two wide staircases which lead upwards to either end of a balcony overlooking the hall. Paintings and suits of armour decorate the walls. The room is empty. Will you take the left-hand staircase upwards, turn to 19, take the right-hand staircase upwards, turn to 197, investigate the paintings, turn to 317, investigate the suits of armour, turn to 151. Okay, that picture looks like it's for us. 169, a long table large enough to seat 40 or 50 people stands in the centre. There it is. Blimey, that is long. Right, okay, so I have written down that if I investigate the paintings, I take 1 damage but restore 1 luck point. Do I need to do that? No, my luck's at maximum. Yes, apparently if you investigate the paintings, you take 1 damage, 1 point off stamina, but restore 1 luck point. Otherwise, just take the right stairs. So I'm going to take the right-hand staircase upwards, turn to 197. The stairs are well worn and creak under your weight. Cautiously you climb up to the balcony. Turn to 363. Okay. Along the balcony are 3 doors. No, that's not for us. Are 3 doors. Will you try the door to the left? Turn to 228. The door in the centre? Turn to 64. Or the door to the right? Turn to 304. We're going to try the door to the left. Turn to 228. Now the locked door is very strong and made of solid oak. It is unlikely you will break it down, but you may try. Otherwise you could use a strength spell to smash it. The lock is copper and you could try using a copper key if you have one. Which will you choose? Try to smash it down, turn to 88. Cast a strength spell, turn to 170. Or use a copper key, turn to 296. Okay, now we have a copper key. It's just there, we have a copper coloured key. So we're going to go to 296 and use that. The key turns and the door opens. Turn to 292. Looks like this is for us. Yep, pick that picture, yep. The room is an elegant bedchamber, plushly decorated with fine lace and a fur carpet. In the centre of the room is a large 4-poster bed. Sitting up in the bed, evidently awakened by all the commotion, is a beautiful sylph-like woman, not sure what that means, with long dark hair and deep piercing eyes. "What right have you in here?" she screams at you. With those words, her eyes turn blood red and 2 jets of liquid fire shoot from them directly at you. Or rather directly at you. Will you create a shielding spell to protect yourself? Turn to 376. Leave the room quickly and try the next door. Turn to 64. Or tell her you have a special gift for her. Turn to 42. Okay, we're going to tell her that we have a special gift for her. And guess which gift it is. Turn to 42. Oh yeah, I forgot to look at the picture. I can never find these again, can I? Yeah, it is good. The room, 292. The room is an elegant bedchamber, plushly decorated with fine lace and a fur carpet. And there she is, with a sheep ram head at the foot of her bed, which is a bit weird. And anyway, we're going to go to 42. Seen that now. Yep. Turn to 42 because we have a special gift for her. Okay, she blinks and the jets of fire disappear. What will you offer her? A silver mirror, turn to 138, a hairbrush, turn to 91, or a jar containing a Spider-Man, turn to 223. If you have none of these, you must make some excuse about losing your gift and go back onto the balcony, where you may take either the middle door, turn to 64, or the far door, turn to 304. We are going to offer her the ornate hairbrush that we got, turn to 91. She looks at your offering and her eyes widen. Let me see that, she commands. You carefully advance towards her and hold out the brush. She snatches it and spends several moments admiring it. This is indeed a work of art, she says, and she gets out of bed to try it in front of her mirror. As she brushes her hair with it, her hair takes on an unusual sheen, glimmering softly. She is fascinated with your gift, and now is your chance to leave unnoticed through a door in the far corner. You may try to take with you a golden fleece which is lying on the bed. Test your luck. If you're lucky, you manage to snatch it quickly and can leave through the other door. Turn to 140. If you're unlucky, you may test your luck again until you are finally lucky. Or if luck is not with you, you may ignore the cumbersome thing and leave it anyway. Turn to 140. Okay, we need that golden fleece, so we're going to test our luck. Luck is currently 11, so we need to roll 2 dice, and it needs to be less than or equal to 11. Unbelievable. So I was unlucky, so I've lost a luck point. So I'm down to 10 now. So I need this to be less than or equal to 10. There we go, we just made it. Right. Can't believe I was unlucky there. That was 1 out of 36 chance of getting a 12 there. And I actually got it. Anyway, we were lucky, but we lost 2 luck points. So we're down to 9 now. But we do have the golden fleece. So golden fleece. But we do need it. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to turn to 140. Yeah, we definitely need that golden fleece. Anyway, it is imperative that we get it. Okay, you leave the room and head down a short corridor. Some yards down, you find yourself at the foot of a staircase. This is a spiral staircase which leads right up into the Citadel tower. You climb the stairs cautiously and eventually arrive on a small landing with 2 doorways in front of you. Will you take the left-hand door, turn to 25, or the right-hand door, turn to 104? We're going to take the left-hand door and turn to 25. Now the door opens, allowing you into a large circular room. You scratch your head quizzically. In the centre of the room you can see a small island, quote-unquote, surrounded by a wide trench on which stands a chest, locked with metal fastenings. The trench is too wide to jump and is very deep. Just inside the door is a length of rope. A door leads from the room opposite the door through which you came. Will you ignore the box and walk round the trench to the other door, turn to 206, cast a strength spell and leap across the trench, turn to 133, or pick up the rope and formulate a plan, turn to 239. We're going to ignore the box and just walk around the trench to the other door. So turn to 206. Okay, you leave through the door and find yourself at the foot of another spiral staircase. Just realised I forgot to oh no, I forgot to look at the picture. I have to go back. 292, then it was 42. Oh, 140, wasn't it? 140. Left-hand door, 25. Here it is. Okay, so the trench is too wide to jump and is very deep. There it is. And there's the rope. Anyway, we're going to ignore it and go to 206. You leave through the door and find yourself at the foot of another spiral staircase leading up into the Black Tower. Climbing the stairs, you eventually come to a landing where a single door is the only way onwards. You try the door, it opens slowly. Turn to 182. What's that? Oh, lovely. Is that something to do with me? Oh, it is. Good. You feel yourself sucked into the room. As if by magic your torch flickers and dies. The room is pitch black. From nowhere, yet everywhere, comes a mocking laugh which fills the room. Foolish adventurer, says another voice, which changes its tone from high to low as it speaks. Welcome to the home of the Ganges. Unfortunately, it will be the last room you will ever see. Ah, but of course. You cannot see, can you? But we can see you, can't we, brothers? And laughing voices come from all around you. Suddenly a ghostly white luminous face flies towards you. You recoil in horror, throwing yourself on the ground, and begin to feel very frightened. Lose 1 skill, 2 stamina, and 1 luck point for your fear. Okay, so we need to lose that. So down to 11 skill, 2 stamina, so down to 21, and 1 luck point, so it goes down to 8. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, what can you do here? Create a fire spell, turn to 85. Try an illusion spell, turn to 395. Fill in your backpack for an artifact, turn to 322. Or draw your sword, turn to 248. We're going to fill in our backpack for an artifact, turn to 322. Okay, what will you pull from your backpack? A spider in a jar, turn to 39. A charmed amulet, turn to 168. Or a jar of ointment, turn to 291. Okay, if you have none of these, you'll have to draw your sword and face them, turn to 248. Okay, we're going to pull a jar of ointment. We have a jar of ointment. There it is, jar of creamy ointment. So, turn to 291. Didn't read the damn thing, did I? Okay, where was it? 24. I have to find that picture, sorry. 206. I keep doing that, beginning to look at the picture. 182. Here we are. Okay, so 182. Suddenly a ghostly white luminous face flies towards you. Lovely. Okay. Okay, 322. Keep forgetting to look at the pictures. What is that? That is quite funny. Yeah. I have to see what that is. Wheelies. That is quite strange. Anyway, jar of ointment, 291. What is that? Demands a ghostly voice. You bargain with them. You will allow them to take the ointment if they will allow you through the room. You have no business with them. A ghostly hand appears from nowhere and tries to snatch the jar from your hand, but you whip it away quickly. It is indeed the ointment of healing, you hear one of the voices say quietly. We accept your offer, says a voice. Leave the jar where you are and leave through this door. A door in the far corner glows softly. You do not trust them and take the jar with you to the door. As you open the door, you fling the jar across the room and leave quickly. Turn to 328. Okay, so I'll just put used here. There we go. Turn to 328. You close the door behind you and find yourself at the foot of yet another staircase spiralling up into the tower. Climbing the stairs, you arrive at another balcony where a single door is the only way onwards. Trying the door, it opens easily, but as you push the door, a loud hissing noise comes from within. You step inside and turn cold as a huge six-headed Hydra snakes towards you over the bodies of its previous victims. Its 6 serpent-like heads dart at you with vicious pointed teeth. You cower into the corner. What will you do? Draw your sword and fight the creature, turn to 67. Use a creature copy spell, turn to 143. Or use something from your backpack, turn to 226. We're going to use something from our backpack. Let's have a look at the Hydra though. 328. A large six-headed Hydra snakes towards you. It's not large, it's a huge. I thought it didn't say large. 328. A huge six-headed Hydra snakes towards you. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to use something from our backpack, so turn to 226. Let's go. You may pull from your backpack any one of the following if you have collected them. Any one of the following if you have collected them. A silver mirror, turn to 312. A golden fleece, turn to 37. Or a pocket myriad, turn to 384. If you have none of these, turn to 184. Okay, we're going to pull out the golden fleece, which we have. There it is. And we're going to turn to 37. You draw out the skin and the creature hisses loudly. All its heads retreat and it remains still, watching you. There is a door on the far side of the room and you slowly make your way towards it. Halfway across the room, a head darts out and snatches the fleece from your hands, but instead of attacking you, the Hydra slinks back into a corner. You move on to the door cautiously, turn to 229. Okay, so we've used the fleece, so used. There we go. And we're going to turn to 229. You slam the door shut behind you. You follow a short, narrow passage which winds round and brings you to the foot of another staircase, reaching right up into the apex of the Citadel. A sign on the wall reads, "Halt! None may pass but by order of Balthus Dyer." You realize you are nearing your goal. Cautiously, you climb the stairs to the next landing, right up in the belfry of the Citadel. In front of you is a solid metal door. You try the handle, but the door is locked. You lift a small flap and can see small tumblers underneath. This is a combination lock, which can only be opened by those who know the combination. Do you know the combination? If so, turn to the section of the book with that same number. If not, you may either try to break the door down, turn to 50, or use a strength spell, turn to 164. Okay, so we know the combination. It is 217. So we're going to go to 217. You turn the handle as carefully as possible so as to surprise whatever awaits you. Slowly the door opens and you enter the room, which is dark and lit by a single flickering candle. Your blood drains as you see a three-pronged trident heading directly for your throat. In a flash you must decide what to do. Will you immediately cast a shielding spell, turn to 293, or try quickly to sidestep the weapon, turn to 57. Okay, we're going to try quickly to sidestep the weapon, turn to 57. Test your luck. If you are lucky, turn to 150. If you are unlucky, turn to 233. Okay, so we're going to test our luck, which is now 8. So this is a little bit dodgy. So we need to roll 2 dice. It needs to be less than or equal to 8. Close, and we've got a 7. So now our luck is down to 7. But now keep it like that. Should I use a luck spell? I'm going to use a luck spell. Yeah. Okay, so now we're down to 1, and this will put us up to half. Well, I'll increase it by half. Half of 11 is 5.5, but we round halves down, so we're increasing our luck by 5. So 7 plus 5 is 12, but our initial luck is 11, so we put it back up to 11 again. There we go. So we were lucky, turn to 150. You duck quickly to avoid the trident. It misses your neck, but glances off your forehead. Lose 2 stamina points, and turn to 374. Down to 19 stamina. And we're going to turn to 374. Is that for us? Yes, it is. As you compose yourself after your fright, you glance around the room. It is obviously some sort of military headquarters. Scrolls with strategic maps hang from the walls, as do portraits of past generals. A bookcase in one corner holds hundreds of leather-bound volumes. Ornate drapes are drawn across a large window. A cabinet along one wall holds pikes and swords of a variety of deadly shapes and sizes. In the centre of the room is a model landscape which you recognize as the Vale of Willow. Armies of miniature troops are positioned on the model. This must be the invasion plan. Leaning against the table with eyes fixed on you is Balthus Dyer himself. His very stature is formidable. Well over 6'7" tall, he is built like an ox, with broad shoulders and muscular arms. In his battle tunic of leather, with wide studded wristbands, he looks more a soldier than a demi-sorcerer. He really is. Continued overleaf. 374. Leaning against the table, with his eyes fixed on you, is Balthus Dyer himself. Wow. Okay. Impudent peasant, he growls. Do you think you are any match for Balthus Dyer? With these words, he snaps his fingers, and you hear a grunting from behind. You swing round to see a grotesque creature shambling towards you. Its hairy body has four arms, each ending in vicious-looking hooks. As it approaches, it slashes the air in front of it. Why, I'll wager you are not even a match for a claw beast, laughs Dyer. Will you draw your sword to defend yourself? 10 to 30. Cast a shielding spell, turn to 109, or cast a weakness spell, turn to 158. Okay, we are going to decide what to do in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you can join me for the next part, which is going to be the final part, I believe. So we'll decide what to do with the claw beast in the next part. So thanks for watching, and I hope you can join me for the next part. I hope you've enjoyed this. Goodbye.